The Austrian national football team is the association football team that represents the country of Austria in international competition and is controlled by the Austrian Football Association. Austria has qualified for 7 World Cups, most recently in 1998. The country played in the European Championship for the first time in 2008 when it co-hosted the event with Switzerland. History: pre-war, the Austrian Football Association was founded on March 18, 1904 in the Austro-Hungarian Empire. The team enjoyed success in the 1930s under coach Hugo Meisel, becoming a dominant side in Europe and earning the nickname Wonder Team. The team's star was Matthias Ndila. On May 16, 1931, they were the first European side to defeat Scotland. In the 1934 FIFA World Cup, Austria finished fourth after losing 1-0 to Italy in the semi-finals and 3-2 to Germany in the third-place playoff. They were runners-up in the 1936 Olympics, again losing to Italy 2-1, despite having been beaten in quarter-finals by Peru, following the Peruvians' withdrawal. The team then qualified for the 1938 FIFA World Cup finals, but Austria was annexed to Germany in the Anschluss on March 12 of that year. On March 28, FIFA was notified that the Austrian FA had been abolished, resulting in the nation's withdrawal from the World Cup. Instead, the German team would represent the former Austrian territory. Theoretically, a united team could have been an even stronger force than each of the separate ones, but German coach Sepp Herberger had little time and very few games to prepare and merge the very different styles of play and attitude. The former Austrian professionals outplayed the rather athletic yet amateur player of the old empire in a reunification derby that was supposed to finish as a draw, yet in the waning minutes, the Austrians scored twice, with Matthias Ndila also demonstratively missing the German goal, and subsequently declining to be capped for Germany. In a later rematch, the Germans took revenge, winning 9-1. In early April, Herberger inquired whether 2 separate teams could enter anyway, but Reichsport for 1 quarter Hans von Chamorandosson made clear that he expected to see a 5-6 or 6-5 ratio of players from the 2 hitherto teams. As a result, 5 players from Austria Wien, Rapid Wien and Vienna Wien were part of the team that only managed a 1-1 draw in round 1 against Switzerland, which required a rematch. With Rapid Wien's Ford Pesser having been sent off, and not satisfied with 2 others, Herberger had to alter the lineup on 6 positions to fulfill the 6-5 quota again. The all-German team led the Swiss 2-0 after 15 minutes, but eventually lost 4-2 in Paris, in front of a rather anti-German French and Swiss crowd, as few German supporters were able to travel to France due to German restrictions on foreign currency exchange. After World War II, Austria was again separated from Germany. Austria's best result came in 1954 with a team starring midfielder Ernst Ockwerk. They lost in the semi-finals 6-1 to eventual champions Germany, but finished third after beating defending champions Uruguay 3-1. This remains their best result ever, and unfortunately the last time for decades that Austria reached the end round of a major tournament. Over the years, a strong yet mainly lopsided rivalry with Germany developed. 1970s and 1980s, anchored by Herbert Prohaska and striker Hans Krankl, backed up by Bruno Pse, Austria reached the World Cup in 1978 and 1982 and both times reached the second round, held in team group games that replaced the knockout quarter-finals. This Austria team, coached by Helmut Senekowicz, is widely regarded as the best post-WWII Austrian football team ever. In the 1978 FIFA World Cup in Argentina, they had lost 2 games and would almost surely finish last in their second-round group of 4 teams, but they put in a special effort for their last game in Car-Cubed RDOBA against West Germany, which had still chances of qualifying for the final. The Austrians also denied the defending world champion a trip to the third-place match, beating them 3-2 by 2 goals of Hans Krankl, plus an own goal. The celebrating report of the radio commentator Edi Finger became famous in Austria, where it is considered the miracle of Cordoba, while the Germans regard the game and the Austrian behavior as a disgrace. During the 1982 FIFA World Cup in Spain, Austria and West Germany met again, in the last game of the group stage. Because the other two teams in the group had played their last game the previous day, both teams knew that a West German win by 1 goal would see both through, while all other results would eliminate one team or the other. After 10 minutes of furious attack, Horst Hrubesch scored for West Germany, and the two teams mainly kicked the ball around for 80 minutes with few attempts to attack. The game became known as the Non-Aggression Pact of Djibouti. Algeria had also won 2 games, including a shocking surprise over Germany in the opener, but among the 3 teams that had won 2 games, was eliminated based on goal difference, having conceded 2 late goals in their 3-2 win over Chile. The Algerian supporters were furious, and even the Austrian and West German fans showed themselves to be extremely unhappy with the nature of their progression. As a result of this game, all future tournaments would see the last group games played simultaneously. Austria and Northern Ireland were eliminated by losing to France in the second round group stage of 3 teams. 1990s, led by striker Toni Polster, Austria qualified for the 1990 FIFA World Cup, but were eliminated in the first round. Much worse was the stunning 1-0 loss against the Faroe Islands in the qualifying campaign for the 1992 European Championship, considered the worst embarrassment in any Austrian team's sport ever, and one of the biggest upsets in footballing history. The game was played in Landskrona, Sweden, because there were no grass fields on the Faroe Islands. It was assigned for things to come. Austria suffered another couple of years of botched qualifying campaigns, despite playing some entertaining football in the closing stages of UEFA Euro 1996 qualification. In the 1998 FIFA World Cup, Austria were drawn in Group B along with Italy, Cameroon and Chile. Their appearance was brief but eventful, as they managed the curious feat of only scoring in stoppage time in each of their matches. Against Cameroon, Pierre Njanka's superb goal was cancelled out by Toni Polster's late strike. In their second game, it was Ivica Vastia who curled a last-minute equaliser, cancelling out Marcel Osler's disputed opener. Austria weren't so fortunate in their crucial, final match at the Stade de France. Italy scored twice after half-time, a header from Christian Vieri and a tap-in from Roberto Baggio. Andreas Herzog's stoppage-time penalty kept up Austria's unusual scoring pattern, but was not enough to prevent Austria finishing third in the group, behind the Italians and Chileans. 21st century. In recent years, mainly due to players from the 1998 team retiring from football, Austria's form has declined. They failed to qualify for the next World Cup and European Championships, and suffered extreme embarrassment when they lost 9-0 to Spain and 5-0 to Israel in 1999. In 2006, Josef Hickersberger became coach of the Austrian national team, with a notable win against Switzerland in late 2006 bringing to an end a series of bad results. Austria qualified automatically for the 2008 European Championships as co-hosts. Their first major tournament in a decade, most commentators regarded them as outsiders and whipping boys for Germany, Croatia and Poland in the group stage. Many of their home supporters were in agreement and 10,000 Austrians signed a petition demanding that Austria withdraw from the tournament to spare the nation's embarrassment. However, Austria performed better than expected. They managed a 1-1 draw with Poland, gave the Croatians a hard time before losing 1-0 to a Luka Modria penalty and defended valiantly against the Germans, but Michael Ballack's free kick sealed the game in a 1-0 defeat. Shortly after Austria's first-round exit from the tournament, Hickersberger resigned as the national team coach. Karel Brauncourt-Ckner, who had resigned as head coach of the Czech Republic after that country's first-round exit from Euro 2008, was soon named as his replacement. After only 8 months, Brauncourt-Ckner was released in March 2009 and the position was subsequently taken by Didi Constantini. Even though Austria did not manage to secure automatic qualification or a playoff spot for the 2010 FIFA World Cup, under Brauncourt-Ckner they still managed a memorable 3-1 win over France during qualifying, which was also France's only defeat in qualifying. In the qualifying campaign for UEFA Euro 2012, the Austrians played against Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Belgium, Turkey and Germany. Despite playing against the Germans, it wasn't perceived as one of the most difficult groups, since Turkey and Belgium, the main contenders for the playoff spot, both struggled in the previous World Cup qualifiers. Austria started fairly well, beating the group's two weakest teams, Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan, both wins being at home. It was followed with an exciting match in Belgium, which ended in a bizarre 4-4 score, what was seen as a good result for das team, as it meant that it had gone through all qualifiers in 2010 unbeaten. So far, things were pretty well. However, in March 2011, Austrian luck made a new turn for the worse, as Belgium went to Vienna and recovered the points missed at home with a deserved 2-0 win, courtesy of an Axel Witsel double. The defeat in the head-to-head clash at home set the tone for remaining matches as Austria was again defeated 4 days later, this time in Turkey, another crucial match. In June, there was the big clash in Vienna against the Germans, a must-win. Austria played bravely, but was once again defeated, this time in injury time, Mario Gomez being the one who made the score 2-1. In the return leg, the team was smashed by the same Germans in an impressive 6-2 score. At that point, even the mathematic hopes for a top two finish effectively ended. Despite those 4 straight defeats, Austria finished the campaign unbeaten in the last 3 matches, drawing against Turkey and Kazakhstan, and recording a sounding 4-1 win in Azerbaijan. Despite those results, they were eliminated by Germany, Turkey and Belgium. In qualification for the 2014 FIFA World Cup, Austria finished third in their group behind Germany and Sweden. Records at major tournaments: World Cup record, European Championship record, current squad. The following players have been called up for the friendly matches against Iceland on May 30, 2014 and the Czech Republic on June 3, 2014. Caps and goals as of June 3, 2014 after match against Czech Republic. Recent call-ups: the following players aren't in the current squad, but were called up in the last 12 months. Staff, President, Dr. Leo Windner, Director of Sport, Willibald Ruttensteiner, Head Coach, Marcel Koller, Assistant Coach, Fritz Schmid, Assistant Coach, Thomas Janeschitz, Goalkeeper Coach, Franz Wohlfahrt, Conditioning Coach, Roger Thomas Spry, UEFA Euro 2016 qualifying. 2014 FIFA World Cup qualification. Player statistics: as of May 30, 2014, players in bold are still active, at least at club level. Most capped players. Top goal scorers. Kit history: Austria's current kit suppliers are Puma. Manager history: as of May 30, 2014, legacy: Austria used to play in similar colors to those of the German team. White jerseys, black shorts, black socks. In order to distinguish themselves, in 2004 coach Hans Krankel switched to their former away shirts, which have the same color scheme as Austria's flag, red white red. To further distinguish themselves from Germany, the Austrians had used an all-black away kit, but as of 2010, the white shirt and black shorts is used as the away kit. Former squads: UEFA Euro 2008 squad, references. External links: official website, RSSSF Archive of Results 1902 Euro 2003, RSSSF Archive of Most Capped Players and Highest Goal Scorers, RSSSF Archive of Coaches 1902 Euro 1999, Austrian National Football Team / Ambrosius Kutskera /